Well, here we are again. Friday, Rebecca Black's favourite day of the week. That's a reference for all of you old people like me. So yeah, what is it? October 17th today, Friday. Now, Friday, this is where streaks break, isn't it? So that's going to be the theme of today's video. Don't break the chain, don't break the streak, because one thing that really helped me, which I've mentioned in previous videos, is I started tracking all of my drinking days on an app called Habit Bull. It's dead now, but I think they may have changed the name to something called Streaks or whatever. But yeah, maybe use an app to track your days, because I found that incredibly helpful. It's almost like the gamification of not drinking, where you're putting little ticks in a box, or marking it off on a calendar, and you don't want to kind of break that chain. So I highly recommend that. But as I say, Friday is the day where streaks are broken, where the day where streaks go to die, like the elephant's graveyard. But what I want you to do is what we've basically done the last 2 Fridays in a row, is we need to prepare and we need to think about what we're going to do. And if you've been doing Sober October with me up to this point, you are going to be an old hand at this. You are going to be an expert. You're going to be as good as anybody, where you know what to do. You're becoming more self-aware. You're becoming more aware of what your triggers are. You're becoming stronger emotionally. You're becoming stronger you're sleeping better. You're having much more mental clarity and mental fortitude. So you're much more able to actually fight this. It's like you've got a sword and shield, you've got your armor on, and you're ready for a fight. Whereas before you were like the little peasant with a wooden club, and up against the dragon. As you can tell, I spent far too much time when I was younger playing video games and Dungeons and Dragons and stuff. So yeah, if that reference passes you by, then whatever. But yeah, so think about what we're going to do today, okay? Because at this point, your brain and your entire being is probably going to start to be rewiring itself. And the fact that we've done a couple of weeks sober doesn't, a couple of weeks a lifetime doesn't make, but we're on the right path here. And I know that when I was drinking, Fridays was where I would kind of just go off the hook, really, and I would lose all kinds of control around my drinking, because I would just be like, well, I don't have to do anything. And also, if you're aware of my story, you will know that one of the pivotal events that led to me actually really quitting was my old business partner. We ended up just having a fist fight around Christmas over nothing, and it was just awful. And I don't even want to go into full details of it. It was just awful. That was a Friday, and we were both drinking heavily all the time. And when I say heavily, I'll use British measurements, because I was living in the UK at the time, and I was drinking 8-10 pints a night. And then of cider as well, because it's sweet, and I found that I couldn't drink as much lager, so that I found it too sort of bitter. But nice sweet cider, oh yeah, I can drink 10 pints of that, and maybe some shorts and some JD and Coke and that sort of thing. And the Fridays would come round, and then the spirits and the hard liquor would start as well. And I know that that's how Fridays can go, especially for problem drinkers, that have people like you and people like me that have got an alcohol use disorder, which is now what they call alcoholics, by the way, but we can talk about that another time. But sorry, I lost my train of thought then. What we do as problem drinkers is Friday rolls around and we think, well, we've got the weekend. So you just absolutely pour a ton of alcohol down your face, and you just destroy the weekend and most of next week. So we're not going to do that today. What we're going to do instead is we're going to make a plan, as we've done every Friday in this, and we'll do it next Friday, and hopefully you'll do it the Friday after and the Friday after, until you don't need to do it anymore. But again, as I always say, preparation, preparation, preparation. And you need to think about the day and what your trigger point is. Again, it's going to maybe 5 p.m. was mine. So just plan what you're going to do instead, because we've got the weekend coming up. There's loads of things you can do this weekend. You want to show up for your family, your kids, your wife, your husband, your friends, yourself. You know, there's a ton of things that we need to kind of show up for, and don't derail things at this point, because we have done such a good streak so far, and it would be a shame to just let all that go. We've only got to get to the 31st of October, and this is the thing to bear in mind. This is not, I'm never drinking again. This is a lifetime of I'm never drinking again, because it's too big and you're not ready for that yet. So I'm going to say something a little bit controversial. If you want to drink again on November the 1st, do it. You know, I'm giving you permission to do it. I'd recommend you don't, but just see if you can get to the end of October. Prove to yourself that it can be done, because I find a lot of people tend to have blips along the way. What typically is called a relapse. I've had them myself. This is why I developed the program, so that you either don't have relapses or they're minimized. Because me actually quitting drinking and being quit took a couple of years, you know, and it's still work to this day. You know, it's not a job, but it's work. But you will struggle on your own, and what took me years, I can shrink down for you to a matter of months, really. As I say, this is what the program is all about. The people that I've worked with over the years, if you're serious and if you work with me and if we do this properly, you will have alcohol free you will be free from alcohol, and it won't be featuring in your life. Because I won't go too much into it, but the whole crux of the course is not, or the whole crux of the program is not about, you know, stopping drinking as such, as sort of weird as that might sound. It's about building you into the person that doesn't want to drink, that doesn't see alcohol as something that is beneficial to them. And that might sound strange or different or impossible, but we get there over time. It takes a while, because obviously if it was just a case of flipping a switch, then, you know, people wouldn't have a problem with alcohol and you'd have done it by now. So if you want to get really serious about quitting, click the link in the pinned comment, and that'll take you to a page where there's a video, and it will show you what the program consists of, and you can even book a call with me and we can have a chat and see if it's right for you. If not, no problem. But anyway, Friday, take care out there, be careful, plan, and I will see you tomorrow morning, okay? I want you up tomorrow, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, ready for the weekend, having not drunk, okay? All right, let's show up for each other tomorrow, yeah? All right, don't drink. Okay, all right, I'll see you tomorrow.